see differences between the Norwegian big companies like Statoil and Hydro on one hand, and for example the small, young, medium or small-sized companies trying to export to Germany?
Yes and no. I have to admit I'm more working for smaller and medium-sized companies, so I have more insight here, but of course I know some of you, the names now, also have a bit of insight here. I remember earlier I used to work for the automotive industry, the Norwegian automotive industry, exporting to Germany, and of course the most important customers were Daimler-Benz and BMW, and it was already in 1995 or 6, I don't know, that the strategy of the German automotive industry changed. And they said, well, we do not talk to every small supplier anymore. We will have 3, from the 1,000 of suppliers, we will limit it to 100 or even to 10. So, and I tried to make that understand to Norway, and I failed. So this was, we paid hard for that. Because new companies to talk to system suppliers like Bosch and others. Today, I think this would not happen anymore. So there is a change, even in larger companies, enterprises. What I see is there's still very small companies. They're coming up with very good ideas. They have made it to a certain standard of a product. They have not evaluated whether this product is still right for the market, and they're coming in with huge expectations, with immediate sales, with big volumes. So they don't have the funding, they don't take the time. While larger companies from Norway, I think compared to German companies, they are much more flexible, much more adjusting to market needs. But they have a much longer planning than smaller Norwegian companies.
Okay, thank you. Just when you would talk to a young Norwegian business, and what would you tell them are the major risks and opportunities for them going to Germany, Austria or Switzerland?
Yeah, I think starting with the opportunities. Of course, it is interesting sales. It is basically a big market. So what I said earlier, 18 million people, there must be a market. That's somehow true, but it's a question of how to evaluate and how to really focus. There is a network. You can get into networks with other companies, with customers, to even starting designing the next product, follow up. These are big opportunities. There is an opportunity if you link up with customers, for example, you merge somehow, you partner up. Suddenly, funding is available from the EU, from the local states, and I think this is talking earlier about some failures or whatever. Norway is offering a lot of funding, but there's also funding outside Norway, and Norwegian companies do not evaluate what is more interesting. Working in these markets will offer you other access to investors, to money, whatever. The risk is, of course, as I said, that companies are coming in with product ideas or with products which have certain development, but very often they are not ripe to market throughoutly. Maybe for a small period of time, and then Norwegian companies underestimate that they have to invest more to get this product moving. Because we're talking only about the launch, and the launch of the product is never the product which will be actually successful. These are only small examples. You can better play lotto for that. So it is interesting to go in with a product and then develop it with the market. But if you don't have any budget, if you have funding for that, to go on, and one reason for that might be the different ways of funding companies. Product in Germany, in these countries, it's very often that you have the banks, financial institutions. It has positive effects, it has a lot of negative effects as well. Norway has more private. Positively is we are much more flexible. You can have families, rich families who really going the way with you. But for them sometimes it's very difficult to understand that they just finance now the development of a product and the launch, but not actually the maintaining and the growing the market. And it takes years. For example, I remember working with environmental technology. Companies from the construction industry selling products for the environmental industry, like wastewater treatment plant or whatever. They had a profit margin of 1.5 to 3%, but they had to take all risk. I know these figures are not known in Germany, in Norway.
Yes.
But this is a fact. So they constantly underestimate the cost and
and
the
time.
And the time. You have the volume, of course.
Yes.
You have the big market,
Yes.
and you have chances and networks.
Yes, I agree. When you would give Norwegian business leaders or politicians an advice, what would be the 3 most important topics for them? Well, topics for advices.
Yeah. Well, one is really the preparation. Study the markets. You don't need to have a big study, but read, really learn about the markets. Go in the market, speak to people, learn about the competition. So many times I heard there is no competition. Yes, there is a lot of competition.
Yes.
Go to exhibitions, go to customers, speak to them, speak to them on the next step. What can we do to develop now the succeeding the next product together?
Yes, I think
in the market.
The Germans expect a perspective. They are selling now a product, but they're buying a product, but they expect a perspective for the next generation, or even the generation after the next generation.
Yes, Norway, very often companies going in because it's interesting now. Suddenly the sales go up in Norway and they're pulling back.
Yes.
So they have to be more steady, constantly, long-term planning. And long-term planning also is related to budgets.
Yes.
So you have to be aware of, you start with a certain budget, and quite early you have to think, what is the cost that I really have to take in being in that market to finance the next 1, 2, 3 years, and maybe you have to change the investors at the time. And customers in the local markets, networks can help. So I see successful Norwegian companies, but they mostly merged somehow here. So they have investors, partly German-owned, Austrian-owned, French-owned, working here. There are, besides the really big names you mentioned before, there are hardly any purely Norwegian companies being successful here.
Yes. Okay. So the reason is funding.
Funding.
Yes. Okay.
Long-term funding.
What should Germans learn about Norway?
Germans should know about Norway that you can much easier and successful live and work together in a nice community area. The focus is on results. The communication can be much easier than it is in stiff German companies. I think long term this is, and we see the world move faster, globalization. This is a big advantage of Norwegians. They are more flexible, they can adjust to changing structures, while German companies German nature has a big problem in that. They prevail, because they are powerful, because they are big. But you can look at big names in any markets, and after 5-10 years there is a big crash, like we had it today, and suddenly even old markets names disappear. That's a bit right now, and people don't know why. And I think Norwegians are much more prepared.
Okay, yes.
For that. So we have these I don't know the Norwegian name for it, the maneuver of the last moment. This is coming from the fishermen, from the shipping. So the Norwegians have a strategy, they go, and they try to go as long as possible. But if they really see the risk, they will change.
Yes.
They will avoid the clash.
Yes. Okay.
And for Germans, they are too big, they cannot maneuver, it's like a big tanker.
Okay. Anything else you would like to mention?
Well, communication is really answering. This is what I also learn very often, is answering emails, answering letters anytime. So many times, and I hear it, yes, we have got 200, 400 emails every day, but even a small yes, no. Showing the counterpart, a signal, I have received your message. Whether I answer it today, right now or not is another question. Of course, this is and it should be done throughout. But giving the message, giving the feedback. So in the initial phase, when going to the market, everybody is eager and communication is easy. As soon as it starts to become on a standard communication, suddenly, this is what I see in Norway, they're pulling back. They have other vital areas that they're working on, and they're not answering letters, emails, phone calls, and they have to. And well, then hire someone, hire a student or whatsoever, but go on with the communication.
Okay. Thank you very much, Michael, for giving us these interesting insights, and I'm really looking forward to discuss this with the students in Norway. Thank you.
Thanks so much. I'm really interested in the feedback.
Thank you.